Huh?
Sometimes I hear sounds at night and I get scared. I think there's a ghost in my closet.
Now you listen to me, son. There is no such thing as ghosts. Case closed.
So what's real about scary?
You really want to know the one thing you should be afraid of?
Yes, I really do.
Voodoo.
Voodoo?
Yes, voodoo. That will mess you up. And it is 100% real. Promise me that you'll never go to
Liberia. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Liberian Civil War that took place from 1989 to 2003. One person commented, "This war is objectively one of the most crazy in history. Maybe not the deadliest, but definitely the craziest. Child soldiers, cross-dressers, voodoo priests, cannibals, naked warlords, and a boatload of Soviet weaponry. All of which made Liberia an actual hellscape during this time." The creation of Liberia is a bit twisted in nature. It was first proposed in the 1800s by the American Colonization Society as a Back to Africa movement. The American Colonization Society was mostly filled by elites who believed freed slaves should be relocated back to Africa. This plan was finally implemented in the mid-1800s with the creation of Liberia. And a great irony, since you would imagine humans could learn from history, is that the freed slaves began exploiting the native Africans the same way they were exploited in America, which led to years of tension and resentment between the formerly freed slaves and the indigenous people, which finally boiled over in the 1980s and led to Liberia's first civil war. The world watched in horror as rival factions, each more ruthless than the last, fought for control. Over 250,000 lives were lost. Voodoo and indigenous spiritual practices played a significant role during the Liberian Civil War. Many fighters and warlords, particularly within various rebel factions, believed in and relied on traditional spiritual rituals for protection, power, and psychological warfare. General Butt Naked, one of the most infamous figures of the war, claimed to have sacrificed children before battle and fought naked, believing it made him invincible. He later claimed to have personally killed over 20,000 people before converting to Christianity.
So is that why your nickname was General Butt Naked?
Yes, because I was naked, because I fought naked.
A lot of people would drink or do drugs before fighting?
Yeah, most of my boys,
Yeah.
then we drain the blood from the innocent child and drink it before going to battle.
So you kill the child
Yes,
and then drink the blood?
yeah.
I left it up on a chopper, I'm gonna eat it.
Many combatants believed that through the use of juju, they could become invulnerable to bullets. Fighters would perform elaborate ceremonies, including rubbing herbs, oils, and animal blood on their bodies, wearing talismanic charms, and undergoing rituals performed by traditional priests. Some believe that if they followed the rituals correctly, bullets would either bounce off their skin or turn into water upon impact. Many child soldiers were forced to participate in these rituals, which often included drinking potions, undergoing scarification, or being placed under the influence of hallucinogenic substances to make them fearless in battle. Some warlords convinced their young fighters that if they fought naked or in strange clothing, such as wigs or dresses, they would be invisible to bullets, a tactic that became widely documented. Some factions were accused of engaging in ritual sacrifices before major battles, believing that spilling human blood would grant them supernatural strength. Taylor and his inner circle were believed to have connections to secret societies like the Poro, a traditional male secret society with deep spiritual and political influence in Liberia. Some reports suggest that he used occult rituals to maintain power. Many fighters and civilians feared the spiritual power of warlords and their fighters. The belief that an enemy was protected by spirits could have had a strong psychological impact, making some enemies hesitant to engage. While belief in spiritual protection was widespread, many of the practices were likely more about psychological conditioning than real invulnerability. However, these rituals had a powerful effect on the morale, confidence, and brutality of those who believed in them. Even after the war, traditional spirituality and secret societies like the Poro and Sande continue to play an influential role in Liberian politics and society. In conclusion, voodoo, juju, and indigenous spiritual beliefs were deeply woven into the fabric of the Liberian Civil War. Whether through protective rituals, psychological conditioning, or acts of terror, these practices influenced how fighters approached warfare, how warlords maintained power, and how the war itself unfolded. Thank you for watching. I hope you feel less sheltered from the evils of voodoo, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.
What does that even mean?
I am so sick and tired that you've sheltered him from the evils of voodoo.